Hi everyone, this is Carlo and this is my first painting video in a while. I decided that I want to show you all the secrets and tricks that I use to create my textured paintings. Well, maybe not all of them, but a big part of them. If you know my art already, you know that I like to paint aerial views of the ocean, using acrylics on canvas and adding textured elements. Last week I was inspired by pictures of a black sand beach in Iceland called Reynisfjara, and I painted this new artwork. I don't usually paint volcanic sand because it's quite difficult, but this time I wanted to create a darker artwork, so I decided to give it a go. With this video I want to show you what is usually my process to paint this kind of scenery, and the colors and the media that I mix together, so take pen and paper and I'm gonna start. I usually begin with a very simple sketch, pencil on paper, where I define the position of the elements that I want in the picture, the lines and the movement of the waves that I want to suggest. Then I transfer the sketch on the canvas, tracing a very basic grid first. I'm not a great sketcher, I usually get very impatient to work straight away with colors and media. Once the drawing on the canvas is done, I usually create the underlying texture that goes underneath the color. I'm gonna show you the media that I mixed to obtain the texture on this one. I started with a base of modeling paste. This is from Sennelier. It has the consistency of thick toothpaste, and if you use it by itself it dries smooth and plasticky. Then I added this awesome medium called extra coarse Pumice gel from Golden. It contains granules of pumice stone and it's perfect to add a rough texture. I also added a bit of black lava gel from Liquitex. The last element that I've added is something that you can normally find in your kitchen: black peppercorn. I poured some in a mortar and crushed them a bit. Not too much, you just want to break the round shape and have some irregular little chunks. Once I mixed all this together, I've applied it to the canvas, and little by little I tried to create and build the textured elements. Some rock formations, some textured bits on the beach. At this stage I don't work on the texture of the foam of the waves. That will come only after I painted the sea. Okay, we need to let this dry overnight to be sure it hardens properly. On day number 2 I work on the first layer of the sea. To get my signature tone of the ocean, 2 colors are essential: phthalocyan in green, which is a green with a blue shade, and phthalocyan in blue, which is a blue with a green shade. These 2 colors mixed with white can potentially cover most of the gradient that I create. I also use bright aqua green. It's like a pre-mixed combination of the colors that I've mentioned, plus white. If I need to add darker elements in the first underlying layer of the sea, like for example if I want to create a reef or rocks that are visible underwater in transparency, I add a little bit of ultramarine blue. In the color mix you can also add some drops of this glossy medium if you want the sea to have a shiny finish when it dries. I created the first layer of the water, keeping the canvas flat on the table and simply dabbing the color, alternating different brushes. I used this stage to define the dark areas and the different depths of the ocean. While the layer was drying, I started giving a first coat to the beach. A lighter shade of grey for the cliff, and a darker one for where the sand is. The portion where the sand meets the sea looks very amateurish in this stage. We will blend everything better with the following layers. On day 3 I created another layer of water on top of the previous one. This time I worked more finely, blending the colors towards the shore and also starting to define the movement of the waves. And again, while it dried, I worked on the definition of the rocks and the beach, dabbing white and grey shades to create an illusion of height and depth. On day 4, it's time to create the foam texture. This time I mix a glass beads gel from Liquitex with extra coarse Pumice gel. The very little glass beads in this gel will give a pearly finish and it will simulate little bubbles. We add some titanium white and the mix is ready. I usually start from the shoreline, applying the mix with a fine brush. When I work on bigger waves, I also use a fragment of natural sponge to tap the mix a bit casually on the canvas. This will create chunks of foam that I will bind together later with a fine brush and the titanium white. The next step is an exercise in patience, and it's a real moment of meditation that I really enjoy. With the finest brush that I have, I animate the water with lines and small loops, creating the waves patterns and adding little dots that suggest the water reaction to light. This stage can take hours, but it's so satisfying. I put some meditation music on and I really zone out. The painting is now pretty much ready. I let it dry and rest for a couple of days to see if I want to work on it further or if I'm satisfied with it as it is. And then I sign it. And here it is, this is Reynisfjara finished. I hope you liked this video, and if you want to support my art, please subscribe to this channel and follow me on the social media that you find in the video description. Keep making your life a work of art. Have a good day and see you soon.